Hi readers, welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to have you here. Before I go into my next book, I just want to say thank you to all of the support that you've shown me since I started this channel. Everything from comments, text messages, phone calls. It has been I've had an overwhelming response, and I definitely wasn't expecting that response and all of the support. So I really am grateful to all the encouragement and well wishes. So thank you so much. It really is appreciated. Okay, so my next book, Dear Martin by Nic Stone. It is a teen fiction book, so pretty short, super easy to read. I had never heard of this book until I was subbing in one of the local high schools. I think the first time that I went there, the English class that I was in, they had read it, and they were in the middle of reading it, I think. And so like there was some discussion about it, and I was like, what is happening? And the student said that it was really good and they really liked it. And so I was like, all right, I'll put it on my list. So at that point, it was just that class that was required to read it, I believe. So the next time I went, it was the whole grade, the whole junior class, I think, was required to read it. So then the next time I went back, because a couple weeks had passed between the first time and that third time, they had actually contacted the author, and she was going to come and give a presentation about the book. So then the whole school was required to read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to read it now. So I don't know what's happened since then, because I believe the author was supposed to be there within the last couple weeks, but who knows with all the coronavirus stuff. So, but anyway, if you read or saw the movie The Hate U Give, it came out a couple years ago. It has a lot of the same similar issues, but the story is a bit different, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So the main character, his name is Justice. He's a senior, and he's the top of his class. He goes to a very fancy prep school, and he has full ride there, and there's not very many students of color. It's mostly white rich kids. He's captain of his debate team, and he has gotten an early acceptance into Yale. So a pretty well-rounded guy. So one night he is out. I think his ex-girlfriend called him, or one of her friends called him to tell him that his ex-girlfriend was like super hammered and she wanted to drive home. So he walked like a mile down the street to find her, and when he got there, she was being resistant and all of that stuff. So he basically picked her up and was putting her in the back seat of her own car because he was going to drive her home. And as this was happening, a cop drove by. And this is also in like a really fancy white neighborhood, so the cop was suspicious of them. So he saw this guy just picking up this girl and putting her in the back seat. So he pulled over and just immediately arrested Justice. Panic pretty much ensues from there. He was arrested for a while. He was in handcuffs for a while, and then he, like throughout the whole book, he keeps saying how he remembers how they felt on his wrists and how tight they were, and just the bruises that came from that. So like that is a recurring theme throughout the book. So with how he starts to feel like all these different things about being an African American just in general, but also being at this school with all these white people, and like how that plays out. And he starts to feel the injustice of the world. So he starts writing these short letters to Martin Luther King Jr. And just he tries to express his thoughts and feelings about what is happening, like the changes happening in himself and the things that he's starting to notice. And they're actually kind of good. They're kind of funny, but they're very poignant at the same time. So all of this is happening, and now he has the struggle of he's falling in love with a white girl. Well, his mom has made it known that that's not acceptable, and he is struggling with his feelings of wanting to be with this girl but not wanting to upset his mom. So that plays out in the rest of the book as well. And then the next big event, Justice and his friend Manny, another black kid that goes to the school, his best friend, another situation happens, and Manny is very upset, so they go driving around in his Range Rover. Well, because they're upset, they have the music cranked really loud, and what happens? This guy pulls up beside him and keeps yelling at them to turn the music down. Well, they're teenage boys. They're like 17 and 18. They're like, yeah, right, we're just gonna turn it up. So they turned it up louder. So this guy, they're like going back and forth down the road. This guy gets like more upset as time goes. He pulls out a gun on them and shoots in their car. Controversy just ensues from there. This guy that shot at the kids, he was an off-duty white cop, but he didn't have a badge or anything. He didn't announce himself as a police officer or nothing. So, of course, what happens after this? There's death, there's court, and Justice talks about how he feels he has to go and testify, and his character is being come into question because other things that have happened, and yeah, so it's a lot. It's very good though. It's a very like hot topic book just because of all of the issues that come into play. There's racial profiling, discrimination, interracial relationships, gangs that come into the picture, and then also stereotyping within your own race. Some of their best friends are white, and how they go back and forth, like that interplay between the relationships is very interesting, and how Manny and Justice view other people of the same color, even though they're in a different situation. So it's very interesting. Yeah, I really liked it. I read it super quickly. Like I said, it's very easy to read, and I didn't think it was dry at all. Like there wasn't any point in time where I'm like, okay, is something gonna happen? Because sometimes you feel that way, but I did not feel that at all. So yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought about it, your opinions or concerns or questions or whatever. I'd be happy to discuss it with you. So, all right, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.